You are live. Are we?
Yeah.
I'm breathing. Yeah. So about 19 minutes late. We have part 2. Anyway, that following week is 3. Then the ArenaBowl.
Yeah.
Because there's no gap between the end of the playoffs to the ArenaBowl. And then we have probably one more. So basically, we only have 4 more episodes on a weekly basis. So, anyways, welcome to Inside the Nation Vidcast. I'm your host, Eric Thurow.
Richard Santiago.
And welcome to episode 8 for the 2018 season. First, we want to apologize. You know that from the get-go, we were going to have episodes, and this is also going to be our podcast. For those who are listening to on our podcast platforms, we thank you for listening and following us there. We basically were going to do this every week. Our personal lives got involved, and we're doing this on our own free time outside of personal, so we're taking time away from our family and all that stuff to show that we appreciate this league. We want it to grow. We enjoy the league. On to the fact to, let's say, for example, for expansion, San Jose does get the team back. Okay. And I think me and Victor have discussed this earlier, I think was it on Saturday.
Okay.
I don't know if we did in post-game live, which actually finally worked and kept it when we did on Twitch Mobile. It finally kept it for a replay. So if you want to go to twitch.tv/9thmannation, you can listen to or watch our post-game live. Post-game live and our live Q&As are just going to be video and that's it. They're not going to be on the podcast. This is the only one for podcast. So we discussed this on Saturday, that once we, like I said, we have 4 more. This is one of the 4 more. Going weekly. Okay, and then from there, probably within the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or maybe like a week, or maybe the day of our last episode. Victor and I will have worked out a schedule, or maybe at the viewing of the ArenaBowl itself on the 28th. Victor and I will have a schedule worked out by that game time, and during post game, and also through our social media accounts, you can follow him, Victor Ninth Man, on everything: Facebook page, Twitter account, and Instagram. Okay, that's just all 3. Is there something else too? Oh, Victor Ninth Man on Arena Fan, and also Victor Ninth Man is his username on Ninth Man Nation, of course. And I'll get to that a little more. Victor's, like I said, he just got here and we jumped on, we fixed the angles and everything, got our mics hooked up, and we're here. We have a new feature on Ninth Man Nation, which I'll get to you. I've been sort of building. I sort of said that we've gone live with it and all that stuff for a couple days. I don't know if Victor has a chance to do it. Have you?
No.
Okay. So I want to give features out. It's basically on the website, ninthmannation.net. If you type .com, you can get there too from there, because I have ninthmannation.com owned, and it points to the main website, ninthmannation.net, which I had before I had .com. Basically what I had installed is a forum, or a board, message boards or whatever, but it's more forums. It's called forums, and basically I put in categories that include the Inside the Nation discussions, AFL discussions, what else did I put in there? Current team discussions, and even current dance teams. They're part of the league too, and they do their job. They work out hard, and for the dance routines, and they go out and perform on game days. But they're also a visible part of the marketing efforts of the team, and they're a visible part of interacting with the fans. So they're just as much part of the teams, and the league as the players and all that stuff themselves. So we have discussions on that. There's then of course each category has its own list of forums. That's broken down too much to really get into detail. Do you have your phone with you? It's charging, huh?
It's charging,
Basically, so that's it. So basically what you do is go to ninthmannation.net. I've changed up the navigation bar a little bit, but on the second to last, you can see forums. You click on it and boom, the forums are right there. And what I had to do is on the about part of the action, so click on about itself, and you'll see the bios from us. On there, I moved that down to contributers. Don't worry about the notifications. We're on our cell data, so I'm going to get push notifications.
Later.
I should probably just have gone and turned that notifications off. To not distract him. He gets distracted all the time. I've learned over time. He'll learn too. He'll just see something. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So basically, so that's what it is. It's formed. I'm trying to create content, interaction on the website, and try to keep people on there and have discussions. There's a couple topics that I've already opened up. I think I've opened up 4 or 5. One of them is also the announce of the new logo. Did you by chance see it yet?
Yeah, I saw it.
What do you think?
I would say
plain, simple.
It's okay. I would say it's okay.
It's okay. I think it was kind of rushed.
Yeah.
Simple football in the same color scheme as the logo, with the blue and red.
Yeah, the AFL logo looked pretty different,
Yeah, the AFL logo, they just put the shield. They didn't put the letters AFL on there.
Right, yeah.
So, and then they put the ArenaBowl, and then they put the Roman numerals for 31 across the middle as the predominant characters on the football.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, Like I said, this is basically, you consider it a completely relaunch of the league, since we're down to 4 teams. So and Randall Bowe is learning on the job. Mm-hmm. There's been issues in the past, like if you remember the game on May 31st, which was the Philadelphia Soul at Washington Valor, which was originally scheduled for April 2nd, Saturday, April 2nd, but had to be moved 2 days earlier because of the NHL, NBA stuff. Yeah, we don't even mention that they don't even deserve to be mentioned on our show.
Yeah.
But the Philadelphia Soul Washington Valor game on April 2nd was the scheduled game to be broadcast on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah.
And then because they had to move it up, of course they still were able to broadcast, but they streamed it. Mm-hmm. And then the regular game that was on Saturday was supposed to be streamed was the Baltimore Brigade at Albany Empire. Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, that was not streamed or anything. The only kind of broadcast you had was from Alt 105.7, the radio station there in Albany, doing all the Albany games. Mm-hmm. I don't even think that Baltimore or Washington have a radio partner. I mean, they're strictly relying on. I know of late they tried partnering up and they're simulcasting the MSN feed into NBC Sports Washington.
Right.
Which is a start. It gives a visibility of the game existing.
Yeah.
But we've had our issues the way that the game's been called from MSN, and the fact that the play-by-play and commentators, color commentators don't know the league, don't know the game, and of course don't know how to pronounce names. One game they were doing, it was Baltimore, Philadelphia, just like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they kept on calling the Brigade the Valor.
Yeah.
And then they called one of the refs, Dave Kataya. That's his name, is Kataya.
Kataya.
And they kept on calling Kataya or Kataya. I'm like, no. They have to learn the names. But can we give them some slack? They've had only 2 years, to learn this. But the thing is that Monumento wants to look at their OTT thing as not to be like normal commentary like what we were used to here in sports. They want to be more conversational kind of thing.
Right.
And it's just not working out. Nobody really likes it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of negative commentary and notes on the games being streamed. Mm-hmm. Especially you can't do it on AFL Live. You can't do it. There's no interaction there. It's just straight video. And you have to take what you get. Yeah. Monumento Sports Network, I think it's the same thing, except for with the app. You have the other camera angles and all that stuff, but that's kind of janky. Yeah. The helmet cam needs to go. There's not enough processing power in those cameras and the hat cam, whether it be on officials or coaches. They need to go. I mean, I get the idea that you want more angle, but the way that the video is so processed and so shaking, and there's no stability in it. It just needs to go. It's especially during live play.
Yeah,
we're missing a lot of the action because you switch to those cameras during live streaming. Action Streamer, they're a great technology company. They're trying to introduce it, but they're far from having the technology or the bandwidth, to do it properly. And the stabilization in those cameras need to be improved tremendously. And nobody wants to see the helmet cam because the quarterback's helmet's moving so freaking fast that it's just a blur. There's no way. Not even with regular cameras. If you're moving the camera, like if I were to move this phone that we're streaming on really fast, everything comes a blur. It's just the processing power of the camera. Yeah. And then also to do it through the stream. Yeah. I get the idea that you want to be more involved, but you have to have the cameras there and the technology to do it. But just get rid of it. That's my 2 cents on that. What's your thoughts about the hat cams and helmet cams?
Helmet cams? In my opinion, I just like it. I just like it when you see what's going on in the field, and
So you do like it?
I do like it, yeah.
Even though when the helmet comes on and you see Arvell Nelson's going like this, and you see nothing but like blur.
Yeah.
I know I get it's from a different vantage point. And we're so new that we're not used to it. So we should give it a chance, maybe like a full season.
Yeah.
But
I
just don't like it. I'm sort of into technology. I'm sort of doing everything with high quality.
Yeah.
And they should have just maybe wear it out like during practice when they're on the helmets, when they have the helmets and pads on during practice.
Right.
And then touch it out there and stream it out and see how it is, and then take this season of practices during the games or prior to games, and then during the off season doing whatever to fix it and to make it better.
Okay.
But right now, I think the technology is lacking there. Those cameras don't really have the processing power to process the near field video vision.
Okay.
And it's just a blur, and it just doesn't look good.
Okay.
Maybe if you're going to use it right now, use it just for replay purposes. Don't use it for live. Use it only for replay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Same with the hat cam that the refs or the coaches wear.
The coaches, yeah.
Yeah, the hat cam. Same thing with that. You only use it for replay. Don't use it for live action. And only when it calls for it.
Yeah.
Just to have it there.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. That's his 2 cents on it. He likes it. I don't.
Yeah.
It has to maybe just grow on it. Maybe he needs to get, he's more open to it.
Yeah.
So
it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look. Let's go back to this past week's games. I gotta remember what was it. It was Washington Valor hosting Baltimore. Okay, that was the first game.
Yeah.
That was the early game. We've had a lot of things going on with a lot of things, scheduling changes.
Yeah.
So the first game was Baltimore Brigade at Washington Valor.
Mm-hmm.
That was the 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and it was on Facebook Watch.
Yeah.
With that one, the situation was that for Baltimore to have any chance of gaining first place or the number 1 seed for their season, that he would have, they would have to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Washington, I think, played exceptionally well.
Yeah.
I don't think Baltimore's there. Like I think I've said in past videos that I think there was a niche. Maybe once, I think the 9-game mark when Baltimore was 7-2, they've lost every single game since then. I mean, after all, they're 7-5, so that's 3 games, and that's a lot. That's actually a lot of canceling of momentum going into the playoffs, and that's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
And knowing Omar Smith, that as we know him, knowing James Thurow as we know him, but not as a coach. We know him more as a player because he's never coached before. I mean, I think the last year or two with the SaberCats, 2014, 2015, came in on his own, and Fries brought him in to help out with the young receivers a lot, and just be a part, because he is part of the SaberCat history.
Yeah.
James Rowe, the difference. That's his nickname. Through the difference. If any of the Brigade Ninth Man, want to know it, his nickname is the difference, James Rowe. And then we got Cedric Walker, and definitely know the way he is. He's very in depth with his defense. He takes a lot of things, to really emotional. He's an emotional guy. Both end of the spectrum.
Okay. Yeah.
So we've seen him on the happy end, and then of course we've seen him on the piss off end when the defense plays don't go right or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want to see the worst end of him, but he's a good guy overall. We've hung out with him. I've hung out with him personally.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, but he's just really passionate about the football game and about the Reno game in specific. But yeah, Baltimore needed to win that game to have a chance to win number 1. And then, of course, later in the game, they would have needed the Albany Empire to lose. But that did not come to fruition. They lost 42-35. Again, we could go into the fact that we could maybe skip the game and talk about the attendance, but we're not going to do that. We already know the attendance is what it is, and we'll go into later on about our thoughts about something that has to do with the ArenaBowl and attendance. So, what were your thoughts? You didn't really catch much of that game?
No, I didn't catch it.
So you can't really. Did you watch the replay of it?
Yeah, some of them. I watched some of them, but I didn't see all that.
Yeah, so I basically watch. I've watched every single game, except for the Albany Empire Brigade game on the second, which was not broadcasted at all.
Yeah,
and it was the league's fault. they dropped the ball, or maybe the CBS Sports Network, there's miscommunication. They had time to deal with that. But the league just blundered on that one. That was their problem. But anyways, because I do the live tweeting, for Ninth Man Nation on our Twitter account, and then also I try to keep the scoreboard up to date on the Ninth Man Nation website, which is available both desktop and mobile platforms. So basically, the game was just basically back and forth. Okay, I think I said this on Post Game Live. I'm trying to remember. The game was going back and forth. Baltimore had the ball, they would score. Washington would have the ball, they scored. There was no sign of them stopping, but the fact that early on that the tide turned to where Washington got a turnover. I can't remember. I think it was a turnover and downs.
Okay.
So they stopped Baltimore.
Okay.
And anyway, they stopped Baltimore, which is considered a stop, whether it be turnover downs or interception or whatever. But it's a turnover in Arena Football League. They consider going for a field goal considered a stop. So they got the ball, and then of course Washington had momentum started. They led the way, basically going they'll score, then Baltimore would score, and they'll score. And they did that back and forth until like roughly I think late in the third quarter when finally Washington turned it over. Okay. I think they threw the ball deep in. I gotta go back. I should have made notes with this, the turnover. But I think I want to say Josh Victorian intercepted it or something like that late in the third quarter or something. And then Baltimore had the ball back, and then they came back and tied. But then I remember Baltimore going for a 4th down and 20 play in the fourth quarter. Okay. With the game tied, with Washington up by 1 to tie it, and then Washington stopped them. Okay. And they were able to go 2 touchdowns, but then Baltimore had the last and went 1 touchdown, and it came down to 1 touchdown difference at the end of the game. But yeah, basically it was just a back and forth game. And then they each shared a stop, which controlled the momentum. So just another scoring. But what also happened in that game that has happened all year long, except I think once or twice, is that Washington put up a goose egg in the third quarter. Again. Yeah, again. Wow. So it's almost like, don't even bother playing. Just go from halftime to fourth quarter. Because Washington's not going to score any points, but then you're taking away point opportunities for the other team. I don't know. So I'm thinking just right now, even though Washington's 2-10, going to the playoffs now, everybody's 0-0. Yeah. Okay? And the way that the playoffs are looking, there's favorites already, but and I think that there's rumors saying that the league's favoring a certain team. Okay. We'll get to that. But now let's transition to the evening game. This is the Philadelphia Soul at Albany. And a lot of things that people are thinking that this is Albany's 7th home game, and Philly only had 5. Well, it came down to I contacted people at the Times Union Center, and they said that they had a deal with the Albany Empire to where they had to have 8 games played there. So Philadelphia Soul gave up a game, and it's probably more convenient for them since they're basically the same ownership group, kind of thing. Yeah. But that hurts what we're going to talk about the ArenaBowl later for Philly's chances to host the ArenaBowl, and also for Baltimore when we get to it. But the game, and it was just, I think it was an exciting game. It was emotional. Yeah. Within I guess the second possession, was it 7-0 Albany, and then Philadelphia comes back and ties it up. No, it was 7-0 Albany, and then on the ensuing kickoff, Poppy Livers. This is also where the MSN crew, they call him Poppy Livers. Oh, Poppy Livers. Like he's your liver inside of you. No, it's Poppy Livers. Okay. Basically, he caught the ball in the end zone. He did a little wriggling around in 1/3 of the end zone. He made his way outside of the end zone to the yard and a half mark line. And then it was controversial that upon going parallel with the goal line, an Albany player went to go tackle him and basically knocked him back into the end zone. And then he ran around for a little bit more, and then he finally got sacked in the end zone, and it was called a safety. I think Clint Dozell challenged that play because I think the issue of that part where I just said that when he was outside the end zone. Okay, Poppy ran out the end zone, so he did it on his own free will. So we got that part. The part of the fact that he was in the process of, or the Albany player was trying to, in the process of tackle him, let's say at the 1 yard line, basically ended up at the moment of the whole process, momentum pushed Poppy back in the end zone. So does that consider him being pushed back in the end zone should have been a safety?
Oh, that
it was called a safety. And it was upheld after challenging the play.
Yeah,
it was upheld, and Philadelphia lost a challenge for the first half, and they lost a timeout. So they had 2 timeouts, and this was early on in the game. Basically, would have been their first possession. So, was that? What do you think? Was that if we know the rules? Is that considered a safety if you're getting knocked back into the end zone, not free running back?
I think that's true. I think that was pretty legal. If you're out of the end zone coming in, you're 2 yards, and then you went back to the end zone.
But the thing is, he didn't go back in himself. He got knocked back into the end zone. His momentum was going out, and then the Albany player came in and tried to tackle him and knocked him back into the end zone, and he kept his balance where whether it didn't go down. But he kept his balance, but he got knocked back into where his momentum went like this to going back into the end zone, and then he went back in. If I can recall, I don't think it showed that the play showed that Poppy tried himself to run back into the end zone from being hit after being hit. He wasn't really. His momentum was stopped, and he was pushed back into the end zone. So that's a questionable play right there. And that swayed things because what that did, after being reviewed and all that stuff and being upheld as what was called on the field as being a safety on the field, that once you're a safety, the team that got tackled, Philadelphia, who got tackled in for the safety, would have to kick it off to Albany, and so Albany would get the ball back.
Absolutely.
And then they did. They came back down. They scored again. So it was 9, and then they scored again 6-15, and I think Kenny Spencer missed the point after, but I think it was started the game off 15-0. And then of course Philadelphia got the ball, and they came back and they scored. And welcome back to ArenaBowl to the game because he came back and made an appearance. For the injury that he has, I think he showed a strong showing. It's just that, and like things are all momentum here in the Arena Football League. So, and I think that play call with the safety was possibly a key call for. Now, let's say it wasn't called. Let's say forward progress was stopped at the 1.5 yard line where Poppy got out of the end zone too, and that's where Philadelphia takes over the ball. Okay. Can we tell that Albany would have been able to stop Philadelphia on that first possession, or would Philadelphia have gone down and scored on their own right?
I guess Philadelphia
we can't tell.
Right.
It's a what if situation. So So what we tell. So basically, the game went back and forth, but Albany already had basically a 2-score lead. I think they went up as much as 3 scores at one time, 3 possession lead. But from there, I think it was just mainly kept, and I think there was maybe 1 or 2 times where Philadelphia was able to get a stop on Albany, and was able to bring it to within one scoring lead, 1 possession. But it maintained a 2-score. But the end the result was you want to go get your phone? Take time to get your phone.
Yeah.
He's going to take time. He's going to get phones. So it's over behind us on the seat.
Yeah.
Look at that. Timeout. This is live stream. What do you get? So basically the score, I think, what was the final score? I think 71-49. So it was a pretty big score. If you can, go to the Ninth Man Nation website, the homepage. And welcome back to the broadcast or the stream with Victor Santiago. Let's get him mic'd up again.
Hello. Hello again.
You're out of frame. We'll get you back in frame.
Yeah.
I can usually just do this. There he is.
Okay.
See what happens on live streams? It's easier for us too, so that way I don't have to sit there and this is an hour-long show and an hour-long thing. So are you on ninthmannation.net?
Yeah, still loading.
We'll sit here and just sit here and wait for his phone to load. No, okay.
Okay. All right.
What was the final score of the Philadelphia game? Oh, I already have it set up for this week's game.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 71 to 57.
71 to
So I knew it
57.
was 71 points. So if I do my math real quick, that's 14 points.
Yeah.
6. Yeah, that's 14 points. So that's 2 scores. So yeah. So it was with basically 1 or 2 times Philadelphia got within 1 score of Albany. But for the most part, Albany kept a 2 possession count on over Philadelphia for the most of the game. And that's what they ended up winning by. So it's 71-57. And that basically with that victory, that gave Albany the number 1 seed. And now with Baltimore losing earlier in the day, going into the game before the game started, Albany or Philadelphia, whoever won the game, got the number 1 seed. Okay, it's automatic. Because they would have by chance of having a better record, 8-4, compared to both. The next teams, Baltimore and Albany, or Baltimore, Philadelphia, being 7-5. So the 8-4 record was the record that was going to win the number 1 seed, and that's what happened. But it was Albany that got it. So Albany got the number 1 seed. So that means they're going to play Washington Valor this week.
Yep.
Okay, and then Baltimore, even though tied with Philadelphia in the record standings, and I believe face-to-face, the 4-game series during the regular season, that's also tied 2-2. So the next tiebreaker, the third tiebreaker, you could guess, the third level of tie-breaking, is the acclamation of points. Who scored the most points during the season between the 2 teams? And that was Baltimore. That's why the week prior, when Baltimore went to Philadelphia, it was pressed that if Philadelphia won that game, they would have to do it by 25 points or more, because that was the point difference that Philadelphia needed to overcome from the previous 3 games. So that's what happened with that one. So because of that point differential, Baltimore got the tiebreaker. They get the number 2 seed. Either way, it's still going to be Baltimore versus Philly 2 or 3. It just gives Baltimore the right to choose whether they want the first playoff game, game 1, to be in Baltimore or to be in Philadelphia. And the way it came out, I guess everybody had pre-decided already on this playoff rule that if they were the higher seed, they would choose to play the first game on the road. Because it came out so fast, with the league press saying, okay, well, Albany is going to be at Washington. And then Philadelphia, and that's going to be on Saturday, the 21st. So Valor fans, I don't even know if I could say Valor fans because there's hardly anybody there, or just DC sports fans, get to the freaking Capital One Arena. It's supposed to be a nice arena. Stay out of the damn clubs inside and go to the damn seats. Fill up those seats. I think for this game they need to close off the the tailgate zone where everybody seems to migrate to, because they can't really watch the game. Experience the game from the seats and really be part of the fans. Be part of Washington's ninth man and make a difference, because maybe your difference is you being loud in that arena, which is a wide open arena, and it takes a lot more than more of an enclosed arena like Times Union Center or Royal Farms Arena. Even Wells Fargo Center is more of a little bit more enclosed as far as acoustic sounds. It's about the same size as Washington, but just a tad bit smaller. But for those type of arenas, you need to fill in. So Albany is going to be at Washington on Saturday. But the first game this week is going to be Baltimore at Philadelphia on Friday. Both games, by the way, are on CBS Sports Network. So no more streaming.
No more streaming.
No more streaming. So what time is the game?
Okay.
You can tell me what time the game. What time is the first game?
The first game?
The first game.
Okay.
You can see from the homepage there.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Saturday at 4 p.m. for Albany versus Washington.
Okay, that's the second game.
Yeah, and Sunday game.
Sunday. Oh, I thought it was Friday. The game 2 is on a Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sunday.
Yeah.
This is the Philadelphia game. Okay.
Yeah. Sunday at 3 p.m.
Good thing we double checked. Yeah. Okay. We want to get off bad information, incorrect information. So yeah, Saturday. It's not the 21st, is it? This weekend? That's the 14th, 15th, right?
That is
the 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're on a week schedule now where the first day of the week was
14th.
Sunday, so it'll be the 14th and 15th. So the game on the 14th is the Albany Empire Washington Valor, and then the second game of the week for game 1 is the Baltimore Brigade at Philadelphia Seoul.
Yeah.
And that's on Sunday the 15th, and that's what, at 3 p.m.?
Yeah, 3 p.m. On a Sunday?
Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Eastern Daylight Time. So when we say the times, we're saying Pacific because we're in the West Coast, and it's Daylight Time, not Standard Time. So I've seen a lot of people put EST, and there's no more EST until the fall. When we fall back 1 hour, so it's Daylight Time. Enjoy the daylight, for Christ's sake. I have to move this over here a little more because I'm getting cut off. Okay. We're trying to.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so that's the game. Let's go with predictions now, or our thoughts on how the game will go. So let's go with the first game, of course.
Yeah.
The Albany Empire Washington Valor. I think just the way the season's gone in general, I think that's going to be this series. I think it's going to be a walk in the park for Albany.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Albany will win.
You're just going to come and say, Albany's going to win. Why are you going to play? Hand the keys to Albany. They're going to go to the arena.
No, Albany will win by 24 points.
I wasn't going to ask about the point differential, but okay. Jeez.
Right.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to say Albany or Washington.
Yeah. That's no problem. Albany, no problem.
I may surprise you. I know, everybody's rooting for Albany, the expansion team, the baby of the league, and they want, and with the history of the Albany market, I might say Washington might pull an upset.
Wow.
But it might only be by 3 or 7 points.
3 or 7
like
points.
one score. I think it's going to be because, one, it's postseason, so you have a little bit more pressure on you than you would have in the regular season.
Yeah.
I think there's no pressure on Washington because they're 2-10. The way they play, they have one regular season win at home, which was last week against Baltimore.
Yeah.
They have one regular season win in Philadelphia, was by 1 point. And both of them happened under the leadership of Arvell Nelson. I think Arvell Nelson is getting his thing back. I know Will Corbin was injured last week, knee, so I don't know if he's coming back this week. But I think something's going to happen to where, with the experience of both T.T. Tolliver. Yeah. And we'll get to him. We want to talk about T.T. Tolliver a little bit more in a little bit. I call him the ageless wonder. He's almost the same age as me. Not to say that, but Reggie Gray, with his experience too. I think the experience of those two teams are. You need to come a little bit further because your mic is coming to the ice. You're backing up. It's like you have a shorter mic than I do. Yeah. Especially since I'm sitting so close. Basically, I'm thinking those guys are going to sit down with the team and they're just going to drive the bush and say that need to do it. Do I say that that's going to make not only Washington win this game on Saturday, but then give them momentum to win in Albany? I'm going to say no. I think Albany is going to win in Albany, but that's an early prediction. That's not our critical. We'll say that for next week's episode. But I'm just saying that the way it looks from outside, that I'm thinking that Albany is basically going to be in the ArenaBowl, like I predicted from early on this season.
Early in the season, yeah.
So you said Baltimore, Philadelphia in the ArenaBowl.
Yeah.
That can't happen anymore.
No.
Because Baltimore and Philadelphia are playing each other in the playoffs to eliminate one another.
Yeah.
So your prediction, so mine can still happen. I said Albany and Baltimore, right?
Right.
Did I say Albany and Baltimore, or did I say Albany and Philly?
Albany and Philly, I believe.
Ah, damn, I got it.
Albany and Philly, yeah.
I said Albany and Philly?
Yeah, I think. That's what I heard. That's what I heard a few months back.
Okay, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Okay, so
it can
happen. Yours can't. Okay, so I was close, and then I said Albany would win the ArenaBowl.
Yeah.
And I did it, for sakes of wishing the Albany Empire the good. So but getting back to this week's game, because they still have to play these games first.
Okay.
Like we said, your ArenaBowl picks are gone just because the two teams that you said are in are playing each other in the playoffs, so it can't happen. One of your teams could be in though. You said Baltimore and Philadelphia in the ArenaBowl, but now they're playing just one of them, Baltimore or Philadelphia. So for my picks to happen, I'll need Philadelphia to beat Baltimore in the playoffs. So. But so that's what we're saying. I'm saying Washington's going to win this game on Saturday.
Okay.
So, like I said, one possession victory. But it's gonna be a tough thing. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game, and I think the key to this one is, and the reason why the Washington will win this game,
Why?
they will score twice in the third quarter.
No kidding. No.
From having a
way.
goose egg for a lot of times, and maybe once they scored 1 point, or not 1 point, but one time.
Yeah.
I think the third quarter is going what they're going to score, and that's what's going to hold them off. Because if you look at the games, they're pretty close to the games at the end.
Okay.
And that's including with the goose egg in the third quarter.
Okay.
So now if they get over that hump and they add points to the third quarter, especially if it's enough points to make the difference, so that it could add up.
Could add up there.
So and that's what I'm thinking. So
all right, we'll see what happens.
now let's move on to the Sunday game. Sunday game is
Baltimore, Philly.
Baltimore at Philadelphia. Go ahead, buddy.
Baltimore.
You're just straight up. You're just becoming blunt. Yeah, you just say I'm going for this team.
Baltimore.
And I think you're saying Baltimore. Is that because of your ArenaBowl prediction? You want to keep that true?
Keep it true.
Or are you saying that because Baltimore is going to be better prepared for this game and actually show up and play better?
Oh, they're going to show up.
Including with the return of ArenaBowl and all the experience that Philadelphia has in the last couple of seasons being AB champions.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think Baltimore's going to win by then? What's your point differential?
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be 10 points.
10 points?
Over Philly. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, okay, you're saying 24 points for Albany.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the reason why we're saying this is because let's say, like, you say Albany is going to win against Washington.
Right.
So, and then let's say next week Washington wins in Albany, okay? Mm-hmm. So that means the series is tied. Mm-hmm. Now, let's say, but if it's just like the point differentials and going to the playoffs.
Okay.
Since Albany wins by 24 over Washington in the game one, if Washington doesn't beat Albany in the game two by more than 25 points, even though the series is tied, the tiebreaker, the point difference right there will configure saying that Albany goes to the ArenaBowl. Because Albany would have the higher points for versus points against. The point differentials between each game favors Albany.
Yeah.
So 24 points for the first game. We're not going to do it game two yet because that's next week. And then you said 10 points for the other game.
Yeah.
For Baltimore and Philly. I'm going to say there's just something about with Baltimore having a 3-game losing streak going to the series, and the level of play. I don't think the level of play is there, and I think Randall Hippier's confidence has gone down a little bit. He just doesn't seem like he's playing. He's on par with his receivers. There's just some kind of mojo. But knowing Omar Smith and the way he'll get his players back into the action and swing of things.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a rather high scoring. I think it's going to be like a 60-point scoring affair. So I think there could be like 110 to 120 points scored in the game.
Okay.
Which is arena football of old, the way we like it.
Okay.
There's something, and I know Philadelphia is tough to beat against at home. And the last game there, Baltimore, they lost by 1 point. Keep in mind that I forgot about that, only because they chose to go to 2-point conversion because they knew the point differential on playoff season was important. They could easily just went for a field goal, made it tied, and got into overtime. But they chose to win it outright right then and there, and they didn't do it. So, with that said, that made me change my thoughts on things here, on how Baltimore played that game. But they had to come back from behind. That was the back and forth game. I'm thinking Philadelphia has the edge on this, and I'm just thinking just because they're a home team.
Okay.
I'm going to say Philadelphia is going to win by 14.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Philadelphia by 14.
Yeah, not bad.
14. I'm going to stick with 14.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe 13, maybe something.
Go for
But
some.
I don't see if Philadelphia wins by 13 wins, Adrian Trevino will most likely have to miss a point after, or there's going to be some point in the game to try to increase the point differential for the second game.
Yeah.
And the series that Clint Dozell will go for a 2-point conversion and then maybe they fail. That's the only way I can see if they will do a 13-point difference. But I'm seeing 14 points. Philadelphia win this weekend.
Okay.
We should write this down too. So we should reach, even though it's technically we have it here.
Yeah.
We'll have to go search for what the 40-minute mark.
Yeah.
So as he's writing this down as evidence, so just put on
Okay.
Albany ALB at WASH.
W what?
ASH for Washington.
Okay.
And then just put Victor, put Vic, and then hyphen. What did you say? Plus 10?
Plus 10.
Did you say Albany plus 10?
Yeah. No, 24.
Oh, 24. That's right. That was the big one. Albany plus 24. And then right below it, just put Eric. And I said Washington. I said actually 3 or 2. I said 10.
Okay.
Okay, now the next one will be Baltimore at Philly.
Okay.
Vic, you said it was Baltimore by 10. And then Eric, Philly by 14. I'm gonna get some kind of message from Omar. He's gonna give me an evil eye to choose against him. I said, hey, we're cool, but you on the East Coast now. I'm on the Best Coast, where there ain't no football around here, arena football, in which they need to get back to the Best Coast. So okay, that's that, and now let's go into a little bit of talk about basically our 2 cents now on how ArenaBowl decided prior to last week's games. I think it was like at the time I went live.
Yeah.
But on this channel for our show for episode 7, that he switched the rules up on how to choose who's going to host the ArenaBowl.
Okay.
On a normal sports scope, the 2 teams going to the ArenaBowl is the team with the better record.
Yeah.
Or any kind of tiebreaker that may be involved, if there is to be that, were to go to the ArenaBowl. Okay. But unfortunately, that cannot happen now, and it's now the home average. So if you notice, oops, sorry about that. Kick the tripod. If you notice that's the reason why. Prior to last week's games and then after last week's games, when I got the attendance figures, I posted the average attendance for the season. It had Albany at number 1. Did you know that the total average, just forget the averages, okay, with Albany by itself, I don't think there's been a time for any team to where their season total for the entire season at home was an even number, an exact number. Their season total for 2018, 68,000 even. Okay. Not 68,001, not 60,100 or whatever, but 68,000 even. Even? Wow. So why? That's no one could have figured that. If you would have figured that, they would have gotten like an even number. Yeah. Go play the lottery. You're lucky. Yeah. But yeah, congratulations. And also note is that the 1 year total of 68,000. Yeah. For Albany has almost reached a million. The 2 year total for Baltimore, which is 70,000 plus. Wow. A little over 70,000. Incredible. So, good job. We commend Albany's 9th man, the Empire Nation, for filling up the domain there, as we call it. Nickname for the Times Union Center, the domain. But going back to the tennis thing. Okay, so no more the top seed's going to win the ArenaBowl hosting. It's going to be the average attendance. So the 3 people that Baltimore basically got the shaft because they have the lowest attendance average attendance of like a little over 5,000. Yeah, that they cannot host the ArenaBowl, even though they're the number 2 seed record wise. My 2 cents is that you got the teams all year long playing their asses off for the right to try to get the best record and best seed, and that's the whole purpose, right? So when it comes down to playoffs, you have home field advantage. When it comes to now going to ArenaBowl, since it's the home team plays, it's on a neutral site thing, you get the ArenaBowl. That's only fair. But then with 1 week left in the regular season, just because you see how the attendance numbers are turning up, you decide to grab that away from you. You just take all that effort and you just throw it down the drain. That's basically what ArenaBowl did. He threw the entire season of effort of Baltimore Brigade players coming together, doing a much improved job. They were 4-10 last year, to 7-3 this year. No, wait, no, 7-5.
Yeah.
But still improved. That's
Yeah.
a 3-game improvement. Even though they played more games last year, they played 2 more games last year.
Right.
But still, that's a great turnaround for Omar Smith, and we'll get to what we're saying about that in a minute. You got that picture I sent you, right, on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Good, because I need that as a list.
Yeah.
So basically, this pisses me off that he made that rule. But from a business standpoint, I get it. First of all, the ArenaBowl is going to be on CBS Sports Network, a nationally televised game. But really, that's basically a cable network. And CBS Sports Network, out of all the other sports cable networks, which you got Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, you got NBC Sports Network, and then you got ESPN 1 and ESPN 2, okay, as possible carriers, okay, on cable. CBS Sports Network is probably the lowest. I think it's even lower than Fox Sports 2. And if like a lot of people in the restaurant industries would have DirecTV,
Right.
and DirecTV has programmed all their sports cable networks together, except for Fox Sports 2 lays out there and still into the 600 range for whatever reason. They need to bring it closer together and make it, closer to them, maybe like 221 or something like that, or whatever. That's the CBS Sports Network channel actually. What is it, 219? So 220 is NBC. Yeah, so they need to put it on there, maybe 222 or whatever.
Yeah.
And move the whatever channels on 222 out to there, whatever. But anyways, Fox Sports 2, which is not as much watch or in demand, because Fox Sports prioritizes, FS1 as their main thing, with having MLB on there, UFC on there, and so forth. And even MLB is on there because of the week, and the playoffs are now on there instead of being on their network television, which is Fox Network.
Yeah.
So I don't know, why would you consider, ruining and worrying about that? But it's still an opportunity to see fans. And from a sponsorship standpoint, marketing standpoint, a business wants to be able to see a lot of people in the crowd. If you don't have people in the crowd, you're not going to have sponsorships. And that's why I can see where, because if Baltimore were the host of ArenaBowl because they have the top seed remaining, they beat Philadelphia, and let's say Washington beats Albany, Baltimore would host the ArenaBowl, but since they only averaged 5,000, a little over 5,000 this year, that stadium is, plus it's old and run down. The possible national marketing, and maybe the sponsorships with Vegas Sports Information, Sports Radar, and DraftKings had something to do with this choice too, because they want to see fans in the stands.
Okay.
And to have a team that averaged 5,000, not do it. But what happens if it comes to amount to, let's say for example, it's Washington beats Albany, eliminates them, and they're in the ArenaBowl, and then Baltimore beats Philadelphia, eliminates them. So it's going to be Washington versus Baltimore. From a standing point, Baltimore should host, right? But from a fan standpoint, Washington will host, and Washington only averaged a little over 1,800 more than Baltimore did. And they're building, even though it's a lot nicer because it's a lot newer and more modern than the Royal Farms Arena, but Washington's building is a little bit more massive, and therefore you can have, say, 7,000 or 8,000 people in the Capital One Arena, and it'll look just as empty as, say, 6,000 in Royal Farms, because everything's so spread out, and more the fans are at the tailgate end zone. So when people look at it, they look at the seats. They don't look at the end zones. They don't care about that. But that's part of the attendance announcement. But we all know the truth by now. We've said this. The way that attendance is announced is by the tickets being printed out. Whether you show up to the game, if you have a ticket and you show up to the game, fine. It's not actual scanned tickets, because the actual scanned tickets of people attending is obviously going to be lower than people, who bought the tickets or were given tickets or whatever how you want to give it to us as sponsorships or whatever. So, and that also helps with marketing. I know you got the sun right at you right now. Huh? At that time of day. Let's see if I can change that a little bit. No, you probably need to.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Let's just cut you off. Okay, hi. No,
I'm okay.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah, skip this way, closer.
Oh man, that.
Damn, we want to keep you in. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
So that's my pick on that. What are your thoughts about switching to the attendance rights to having the ArenaBowl home?
I didn't like it.
Especially the way that it came about just in the last week of the regular season.
Yeah.
That's poor business ops right there. Business decisions. That's the second thing. That's the second negative market towards Randall Bow's commissioner's, first year commissioner mark.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Whoever had a better lead, that's a traditional way.
Yeah.
Who had to host a home game.
You look like if you're a player on Baltimore.
Yeah.
And you've worked your ass off to play hard and get to where you're at, to number 2 seed.
Yeah.
With the chance of number 1 seed to host the ArenaBowl.
Yeah.
If you of course, if you win and go through the playoffs.
Yeah.
But then you don't because no one chose to
show up there. Yeah.
See, that goes back to the point where Baltimore's not marketing. Washington's not marketing. I see it on the Facebook streams.
Okay.
That they're saying nobody knows these teams exist. And that's the reason why they're putting them on TV, but how many people, and then they're doing it at the last minute. They're not advertising, saying, oh, next week, be sure to check us out next week on TV or get your tickets to come in. They don't do that. Like you see a lot of other teams, other sports, they billboard their games in advance, and they do it well in time.
Yeah.
Even we're saying that MLB's falling down, their attendance is starting to go down, and the league is starting to worry about that. But the teams still market themselves. They billboard and they forecast. They billboard away. They don't wait until like a day before the game and put an advertising. You need to do it basically like within a day or two after the conclusion of last week's game. That's the way it needs to work. And Baltimore, if you need some help with marketing, call me out. Call Victor up. We'll be here. We'll help you out. Washington. But you got, and plus you guys need to stop pushing your Capitals and Wizards thing during especially during Baltimore Brigade game. When you come into the season, come into this league, and you said you're going to keep everything separate, you're doing a very poor job of that. When you're streaming Baltimore on an entity that you're declaring as your home for DC sports, and Baltimore isn't DC sports, you're basically putting them on a platform to where it's insulting the fans of Baltimore, because there's the rivalry there between Baltimore and DC with the Nationals, Orioles, and their interleague, and then the Ravens, Redskins. Yeah, there's that rivalry between the for the team, and that's what's supposed to be happening with Baltimore Brigade and Washington Valor, and happening with you're saying that Brigade is part of the you may be at the same ownership, but you're supposed to keep operations separate, keep advertising separate, and stop marketing Washington stuff on Baltimore's day. If you're streaming it. Right. And keep it totally separate entity. Okay. But they're not doing that. Yeah. There's another thing I could get into about their media relations, but it's coming from one guy basically, and he's handling both teams, which I give him much props. Jackson, he hands me the PR stuff, for both teams, and he does a great job. He's got his hands full with that. So. But that's my 2 cents. He's had his little 2 cents on it. Now, go ahead and get your phone out. Let's do this new thing. The new thing I want to really we're coming close up to an hour. I want to try to limit this right at the 60-minute mark. We got 6 minutes, so we'll rush through this last 2 segments. One is a new feature on the website, ninthmannation.net. I don't know if I discussed this at the beginning of the same.
About the player of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's forums on the website now. You can go there. You register for free. You need to register in order to start a topic and start posting and responding to topics. I put a couple of topics on just to get things underway. But it's once blending. It's Ninth Man Nation with the fans. I want the fans to populate that and create conversation. Keep it clean. Keep it positive. Keep it energetic. And let's focus on it. If you have like a bad experience, go ahead and say, oh, this happened. I just didn't really get it. And then people could contact you and share experiences, but just keep it positive. Don't badmouth this arena league.
Right.
There's a guy that goes on and watches the Facebook stream week in, week out. I'm not going to mention his name. He's I don't even know. He's from the West Coast. Let's just say that. Okay. And he goes on, and I've seen his name for a while over the years with arena football and with him talking about arena football and him being a fan. He may know some of the things, but he's been out of it. But he keeps on coming onto the Facebook Watch page. Okay, yeah. And talking all this negative stuff about this league's going, this thing's dead, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if you're so negative about the league, why are you wasting your time, which I'm sure is valuable, and talking negative stuff? Why don't you just go away and leave it? You know, I almost want to reach out to the league and say, hey, whoever is your moderator of the Arena Football Watch page, it needs, X amount from the conversation. Yeah. We don't need that kind of talk there. No. Okay, so that's that. Next, let's go to our, let me go ahead and get this. You have that image up? Let's go to your, where's your picture stuff? Oh, here. You mean go to your text message. Okay. I mean, I could go to the website thing, but it was faster just because from text. Okay, right here? Yeah, that. So what we got
Okay.
now is our picks. Oh, you're gonna write this down?
Oh,
Yeah, you do need to write it down because you need to post it in the forum. I posted. This is actually a screenshot from the forums.
Okay, yeah.
It's the very first thing I put under the Ninth Man Nation forum.
Yeah.
The first topic I posted was our first. We don't even know what to call it really.
Right.
I just did it roughly. We did our picks on Arena Fan, but we did that. We had that stuff done before the first game concluded. So, and plus we have a couple of different categories here. We have 3 more categories that were on Arena Fans' choices. So we want to say what our. Oh, you did write them down. You saw this and you did write them down.
Yeah, and I put the answers
Jesus Christ.
ahead of time.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's see here. Let's do
Head
number
coach of
one.
the year?
Head Coach of the Year.
Okay. Okay, that's a tough choice. It's either Omar Smith and the Albany
Rob Keefe.
Rob Keefe.
But
So-
you chose one definitely for Arena Fans. Why can't you choose one for us?
Omar Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, wait, Omar Smith.
Yeah.
Because he did a turnaround for that league, and he only had
Right.
4 months to get that whole franchise up
Yeah.
last year, and I think.
I think Omar Smith did a pretty good job.
So, okay, now what's your Offensive Player of the Year?
Joe Hills, wide receiver, Albany Empire.
So Joseph Hill is wide receiver, huh?
Yeah, that's what I picked here.
I'm thinking Offensive Player of the Year for me. Yeah, I'm going with Joseph Hills. Let me stop you right there for a second. I don't know if you've known this, but if you follow Joseph Hill on IG or his Twitter, his wife went through a surgical procedure recently, and we want to give our bless. Apparently, he came back on and said everything's all good. He gave a thumbs up, and I've been meaning to reach out to him. But Joe, Ray, we're with you, and I'm glad to hopefully to a speedy recovery. And we want to say we're praying for a speedy recovery for you.
Prayers.
I know you didn't want to go. I know it was a personal thing. You don't want to go into what the actual need for the surgery was, but I'm glad it's coming out okay. And now just for a speedy recovery, and we'll see you on the field in DC. Well, we won't because we're here in Cali. But, we'll see you on CBS Sport Network while you're on the field. So.
Yeah.
And congratulations, buddy, if you watch this. We just announced you as the Ninth Man Nation Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah, there you go. That's what Ninth Man Nation Awards. That's what the Player Awards. Okay. I guess that's what we call it.
Yeah.
I have to create a logo for that now.
Okay,
so number 3, Defensive Player of the Year. Get that side of the ball.
Okay. My pick is Joe Sykes.
Joe Sykes
Yeah.
from Albany.
Albany, yep.
And he did reach all-time status with his sacks.
He's
He's
all-time
a sack leader in the
The
league
sack
now.
master, yeah.
You did that for Arena Fan too. My Defensive Player of the Year is going to be Terrence Moore,
Okay.
who had the most interceptions this year and most tackles. He led the league in tackles and interceptions.
Okay.
Next one, number 4, Rookie of the Year.
Michael Jones.
Yeah. You have Malachi Jones.
Yeah.
We got to
Albany,
speed this
but-
up now. I know we're hitting about the 60-minute mark in a minute and a half, but
Okay.
and
We'll
also
go.
my phone just indicated it's low on battery. So Malachi Jones is your Rookie of the Year. Kicker of the Year.
Kick of the year, definitely Mark Lewis from Baltimore.
Yeah, mine too. Mark Lewis, Baltimore Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, real quick. Number 6, Wide Receiver of the Year.
Darius Prince.
Darius Prince, Philadelphia Soul. Okay.
Yeah, I like Darius Prince.
I'm gonna go with basically my picks is gonna lateral what I said over Arena Fan for the most part. I'm gonna say Aaron Washaw.
Aaron Washaw.
So I'm gonna say Aaron Washaw.
Okay. All right.
I mean, there was tough choices, but say next MVP, Most Valuable Player of the Year.
Tom McGrady.
Me too, Tommy
for
Grady.
the Albany Empire.
Yep, coming after 1 year off and coming back and leading that team to possibly the Arena Bowl, the
Arena
number
Bowl.
1 seed first of all, and then the Arena Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, this is something different. I don't know how you figure this out, but for me, I have my reasons. I have it, but Community Outreach Player of the Year, and what I mean by Community Outreach Player of the Year is a player that's outstanding in doing community efforts, whether it be during the season with the team and doing through league sponsorships and the stuff, or doing it on his own free will. So who'd you pick?
Reggie Gray.
Okay, you probably picked him. That's the guy that you know.
Washington Valley.
Okay, I picked James Romaine. And this is the reason why.
Okay.
I don't
James?
do that, but during the off season, James Romaine led a coat drive.
Okay.
And he did. I follow him, Ninth Man Nation. We follow him on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. And I even reached out to try to help. Unfortunately, just the timing that he didn't get back to me because he was busy trying to do this. But yeah, he led a coat drive where he collected a lot of coats and gave it to the people who
To the homeless people.
yeah. Well, not necessarily homeless, just people who are in need of coats. And he did that in his New York area.
Okay.
Yeah. So James Romaine, for Community Outreach Player of the Year.
Okay.
Okay, number 9, Public Address Announcer of the Year.
The one with Michael Falvo.
Mike Falvo?
Falvo, the Empire.
Are we showing favoritism to that? You know,
I don't know any of the other 3 like the one.
yeah, it's tough there now as well.
never
But yeah, Mike Falvo, he did a great job.
He did a great job,
And once again, he had an injury last week, you know, or a week and a half ago. So hopefully he comes to a speedy recovery too.
Okay.
And then the last thing, real quick here, as we're at exactly at the 60 or 61 minute mark. Number 10 is the Dance Team of the Year. This is a 50-50 thing. Because Baltimore and Washington Valorets, they ceased operations because of the choice of Monumental Sports Entertainment.
Yeah.
Doing something wrong again with marketing and again their visibility out there and community outreach again.
Yeah.
So we're choices between the Albany Empresses and the Philadelphia Soulmates. So who'd you choose?
Wow. I'm
trying to read. Okay.
So those Soulmates.
You chose the Soulmates.
Yeah.
I chose the Empresses.
Sorry, Empresses.
Why are you saying? Oh, because you didn't choose it.
It's a tough one, but
Yeah.
I like Philadelphia Soulmates.
Okay, so basically they split the decision then. The 2 teams, and then they split the decision. So I said the Empresses. And the only reason I think I can say this, maybe as things go along with your interaction and during the off season, there's just a social media presence of the Empresses, both of the Albany Empresses team account and then the individual members who I think are their personal accounts. I know with the Philadelphia Soulmates, they have their own Instagram account. But each Soulmate has their own Soulmate account, not their personal. So it's separate from their personal.
Right.
Like Jenny_Philadelphia Soulmate or whatever.
Yeah.
So I see the Empresses basically more active on their Instagram. They should also do a Snapchat account or whatever for the team, not the individual people, but the team. The individual people may have Snapchat accounts, but that's their own personal thing. But the team needs to also be on Twitter, and it's because I'm sure the dance team members go out and do community outreach too, and they can reach people out on Twitter and all that stuff. They don't just have to be doing video and showing their dance routines or whatever.
Yeah.
But their community relations. So for that reason, I chose the Empresses because I saw more activity on them.
Okay.
As far as the fan relations and being out there and being socially active.
Okay.
So that's it. So that ends our quick, Inside the Nation. Well, not quick. We're at 63 hour and 3 minutes, but that ends this week's Inside the Nation vidcast. Like I said, this will be up on our podcast channel later tonight. And I know this is going to render and process for YouTube. Right now, I think me and Victor want to just cut this out and go and eat. It's dinner time. It's 7:52, and we haven't yet to eat.
You gotta eat. Yeah.
I had a very light lunch myself. I don't know about him at work, but so we'll see you. I will see you on Thursday for our Facebook Live Q&A. If you guys have any questions, hop onto the live stream. This is where we can more interact on the Q&A. On here, we may catch you or we may not. But it's not a guarantee thing where we will catch you if you come into our chat here on YouTube. And then the same thing with Twitch on Saturday. No, this game is on Saturday and Sunday, so our Twitch programming will be on Sunday. Post game live on Sunday. So with that said, I will see you on Thursday for Inside the Nation live Q&A on Facebook page. Until then, my name is Eric Thurow.
Victor Santiago.
And we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.